to a tradition at Southern Virginia University. We will begin with a word of prayer, which tonight will be offered by Derek Porter.
Our Father in heaven, in this week, when we remember those who have given all for us, this Veterans Day, we're grateful for those who have sacrificed so that we can have the freedoms we enjoy. We're grateful for the opportunity and the freedom to meet and to participate in higher education and sports. We ask a blessing on those who will be participating in this game this night, that they might perform to the best of their ability, that they might be safe and with no injuries. We're grateful for all that thou hast given us. Again, we're grateful for the freedoms we enjoy in this great country. And this we say in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. Now, if you'll all please rise and face the flag for our nation's national anthem. Now for your starting lineups. Starting tonight for the Cougars at guard, the sophomore, number 2, Tamias Bracey. At guard, the sophomore, number 3, Jackson Sellers. At guard forward, the sophomore, number 4, Mason Mitchell. At guard, the junior, number 14, Isaiah Ramazani. And at forward, the sophomore, number 24, Zach Scogan. It's time. Starting for the night. At guard, 6'2" senior from Mesa, Arizona, number 2, At guard, 5'6" senior from Colorado, number 10, At forward, the 6'7" sophomore from Salt Lake City, Utah, number 13, At guard, the 6'2" senior from Midway, Utah, number 12, And at center, 6'9" sophomore from Salt Lake City, Utah, number 55, Kyle McCarthy. And the coach by head coach Coach Bell, and he is assisted by Jake Wilson.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Night Arena on the campus of Southern Virginia University. It's basketball season. Tonight we have the men's opener as the Knights welcome the Averett Cougars to the barn. I'm Colby Camp, and joining me tonight is Cece Bands. Cece, the Knights have played 2 exhibition games against 2 Division I schools so far, but tonight we get the regular season underway as the Knights bring in the Averett Cougars. And one thing is the Knights, they're returning 2 starters from last year's team.
Yeah, that's always the exciting thing about starting a new season, that you have the opportunity, you play all these new teams, you play because each team is going to be different this year. But that's also what makes basketball so special, is you have different players every time. But I don't think that's going to be a problem for Southern Virginia at all, because multiple players that maybe weren't starters are still returning, and they're still bringing up the skills and talents that they had last year.
No, absolutely. You got several returners this year. As Averett, they get the tip. The ball will be brought up by number 14, Isaiah Ramazani. Averett, they played St. Mary's of Maryland on Friday night and lost by 6. Tobias Bracey goes to the basket, lays it up and in. Averett takes a 2-0 lead.
And just right off the start, we can even see kind of just the energy on both of these teams, but Averett's putting on a lot of pressure on this defensive end, but SVU's happily just coming right against it.
Got DJ Green, there's Timmy Johnson, the 2 returning starters from last season. The dish to Hiram McConkey, that's blocked by Zach Scogan. DJ runs it down in the corner. DJ and Timmy, they're joined on the floor with the starting 5 for Southern Virginia by Hiram McConkey, Jude Ballstedt, and back from his mission in Spain, Abe Connolly. Abe had a great freshman campaign a couple years ago. I'm sure Coach Bevel's happy to see him back in the Knight uniform.
Yeah, that's always something that's exciting to see, is you have a player that chooses to do that, to give up basketball for a bit of time, but they come back just like they left it off, able to play and just ready to put so much into the game.
Bracey goes to the hoop, dishes to Scogan. Scogan puts it up and in, and the Cougars take a 4-0 lead here. DJ hands off to Jude. Jude, again, also a returner. Started several games himself. Hiram McConkey, new to the starting lineup. McConkey off the glass, no good, rebounded by Scogan. Ramazani brings it to the front court. Shot goes up, Jackson Sellers for 3. Jackson Sellers scored 15 points Friday night in that losing effort. Tobias Bracey, he scored 20 to lead the Cougars.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting to see difference in statistics, especially as we look at past seasons, but also to see what people are able to do this year versus previous years.
And there are the Knights' initial 2 points of this season, scored there by Timmy Johnson, making a good move, going to the bucket with the right hand. Ramazani guarded by DJ. Sellers up top, swings it around to Mason Mitchell. Bracey with 3, comes up short, rebounded by Abe Connolly. First stop, Knights have been able to get on defense. Turnover, and Mitchell takes it to the hoop, stolen away by Timmy. McConkey in the paint, he'll take it up and in, up and over Scogan.
That right there was a great play showing hustle between both of these players. Timmy Johnson able to get back, really just help save on that defensive end after there was a little bit of a turnover on this offensive side, but able to get back quickly and then get a nice stop.
No, Knights, after giving up 7 points to start the game, they've come back with 4 in a row of their own, and that's another turnover by Averett. So the Knights will get the ball in their front court. It was an over and back violation. Jude set to inbound. Timmy being guarded by Sellers. McConkey up top, hands to Jude. He'll take the 3. Little long. A good hustle by Connolly, preserving the possession. And then Knights throw it away. Ramazani comes down. And a good defensive effort there by Jude Ballstedt.
We've already even seen so far in this game, there's been a ton of good scrappy plays, good defense, but also a few kind of mistakes that maybe aren't the best moments. But I mean, also some good hustles getting back to stop.
you can kind of see both teams kind of settling in, trying to settle in at least. Three-point effort is short off the hand of Sellers, and DJ all alone. He released after contesting that three-point shot. And 2 easy points for DJ Green, and the Knights have come back to cut the lead to 7-6.
Yeah, that's always something that's a little bit hard, especially at the beginning of the season, is you have to really get into your game. You have to figure out what exactly you're going to do and how your team's culture works together, especially when it's a new season and especially when you're playing different teams all the time.
That's going to be a held ball. And that will bring us to the first media timeout here in this first half. Averett leading by 1, 7-6. So yeah, we were talking a little bit, Cece, you touched on it as well. Just, even though Averett has played one game, they were at home, so now they're on the road. And there's a difference, and it looks like both teams are kind of trying to settle into game mode, right? There's a big difference between, your practice and even scrimmaging one another. The Knights, they've been in a couple big arenas to start off the season, with those exhibitions. But, this is the regular season. This is when it starts counting. And I think we're seeing some of those nerves right now.
No, definitely. That's one of the great things, though, about playing those exhibition meets or games and really just seeing, okay, how are we going to play, what exactly you're going to do. But for sure, Colby, what you said, it's just kind of a new beginning, and you have to really figure out how you're playing with your teammates and what you're going to do in these games that really start to matter and mean something.
We talked, before we came on there. This is a rematch exactly 1 year from last year's meeting. That was down in Danville, where Averett's located, where it was kind of interesting. We noticed Southern Virginia, they went out to a 44-28 lead at halftime, but then Averett owned the second half, outscoring the Knights 51-26 to take that game by 9 points.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something that Southern Virginia probably doesn't have as an absolute focus in this game tonight, but probably is in the back of some of their minds. Is we played them last year. We know what we did last year. Let's redeem ourselves.
Absolutely. Let's take care of business this time. Down low to McConkey, and he will be fouled there. That is DeMarcus Tucker. He checked in at the break for the Cougars.
Cougars foul, number 35, DeMarcus Tucker. Aaron McConkey on the line, shooting 2.
Also into the game for Averett is Josh Seiler, number 13. He's a junior out of Maryville, Tennessee. Luke DeVore also just checks in for the Knights. Hiram gets 1 of 2, and that'll tie the game up at 7. Also onto the floor for the Knights, number 1, Mason Hunter. Good defense by McConkey to get a block. Pull-up jumper by Bracey for 2. Mason Hunter, a freshman out of Saratoga Springs, Utah. McConkey finds DJ in the corner, and DJ for 3.
That's something right there that we saw a lot last year with the Knights, is a lot of these kicks to the corner, and that's something that Southern Virginia's been really good at in previous years, and hopefully we're going to be able to see more of that, especially as DJ Green, he's here still. He's one of those, he's a great shooter, and especially a shot-up shooter. So it'll be exciting to see exactly what the Knights do with him, as well as with Timmy and so many of these other players that are great shooters.
No, absolutely, that's going to be a big part of their game, I feel, this year. Playing inside out, getting some open looks at those threes. As Mason Hunter playing some good defense, and the Knights get a shot clock violation against Averett. Working hard on defense right there to force another turnover.
Yeah, it's been some great defense from the Knights, so much that they've been doing. Yes, we've seen a little bit of those unforced errors, but they've really been able to just come back and get so many of those steals and stops to kind of redeem themselves and build themselves back up off of those moments.
Austin Mitchell checks into the game. He is a freshman out of Clinton, Utah, by way of Clearfield High School. Mitchell up top, hands to DJ. Mason Hunter looking for DeVore, and that will go out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover for the Knights. And Cece, we can hear right there, the Knight bench, they really wanted DJ to take that open look that he had there. Maybe a case of being a little too unselfish.
Yeah, that's something that that's a little bit different when you're on the bench or when you're on the side. You're able to see so much more. There's so much open area to really see, okay, this is the shot they should take. This is exactly the choices they should be making. But it's always so much different when you're out there on the court. The pressure, the energy, the excitement is so much different.
Seiler being guarded by Hunter. Seiler pulls up, round and out, rebounded by Johnson. He'll find DJ, and he'll bring it across midcourt. Luke DeVore driving against Seiler, loses it. Seiler races to the front court, and there is a three up and in by Blair Crumble.
Yeah, that was a really well shot, actually, really good shot. Smart opportunity to take there, as whenever you see the defense when they're shifting, they're back a step or anything. And there's also always the fact that hand down, man down.
Good look there by Timmy Johnson, finding Luke DeVore, who is moving through the paint. And we are tied 12-12 as we approach 12 minutes in this first half. Seiler into the paint. And another long three taken. Again by Blair Crumble. Long rebound goes out of bounds. It'll be Knight ball.
Once again, just another great defensive play. That's something that I think is really standing out tonight, is some of this great defense and great hustle that is coming in on this Knights side.
So a lot of hustle out there. We get our first look at Mahad Yusuf. He checks into the game. Abe Connolly also checks back in. And Mason Hunter. First shot as a Knights, a three-pointer straight away. The Knights take a three-point lead.
Mason Hunter is a player that Coach Bevel has been very excited about this year. Has had the opportunity to speak with him a few days ago, really just looking at the team this year, exactly what he's looking forward to. And he's like, Mason Hunter is a great player that we're very excited to have on this Knight squad this year, as he brings in a lot of talent, great defense, and some great offensive, obviously his shooting skills right there.
Just in the minutes that he's been on the floor right now, a lot of hustle, kind of a playmaker, and that was his first open shot. He didn't hesitate one bit. Connolly drives to the hoop, floats it up, and it'll go. 17-12. Knights jump out to their largest lead of this first half.
I think that's also something that's very helpful is Abe Connolly on the court. Is he likes to handle the ball, he also likes to shoot, and he's a very strong player. As he can shoot, he can drive. He's really just all over, and he's really able to do whatever you need him to do.
Good hustle by the Knights. Timmy takes it to the hoop, and that will be out of bounds, so the Knights will have it on the baseline. We get to the under 12 media timeout. We'll go ahead and take that timeout, and we'll be back in just a few moments. As like I said, the Knights will have it on the baseline when we come back. Welcome back to Knight Arena. DJ Green will inbound from the baseline under his own basket. Send it out to Abe Connolly. Yusuf. McConkey back on the floor. Yusuf pulls up for a 15-footer. Fouled on the shot, and he will go to the line to shoot two. Before that timeout, CC, you were talking a little bit about Abe Connolly. He's able to work with the ball in his hands. He also, good defender. In his freshman season, it was fairly common for him to guard the other team's best player, best scorer.
No, exactly. He's a very agile player that can be really wherever you need him to be, which is actually really exciting to see because he's very tall as well. So he can be really so many different positions and play where you need him to be.
Yep. A lot of the next success will really depend on how well he plays. Timmy and DJ are going to need somebody to also play off. Yusuf went 1 of 2 from the line. Knights lead 18-12. And Crumble hits a baseline jumper. Lead down to 4 for the Knights. DJ straight away. Connolly on the right wing. Into Hiram. Hiram kicks it out. Hunter with a 3-point attempt. Knights get the rebound, and DJ Green into the paint and fouled, so he will go to the line to shoot two.
And that was actually a really good play right there for the Knights, really just moving the ball around really wisely, being quite patient, trying to wait for that nice open opportunity, seeing Mason Hunter taking a good shot. And it was also a really good rebound also from DJ Green. The Knights just really looking to try and make the right decision in that play right there.
First attempt by DJ is good. Jude Ballstedt back onto the floor. Mason Hunter will get another breather. Another player that will be interesting to watch this season will be Mahad Yusuf. He's an interesting player. He's kind of small, but he is fast. It's likely that every game that the Knights play from here on out, that he'll be the fastest player on the floor when he's out there.
No, exactly. He comes out into the court. You might not think exactly too much, but he's a powerful threat. He can move the ball well. He can handle the ball actually quite well under pressure. But also, we can even just see this great defense. He's just a speedy little guy.
Plays with a lot of grit out there. And there is Crumby once again hitting a three-pointer. And that closes the gap to just a bucket. Yusuf in the corner. He'll take a three-point attempt. Off the rim, rebounded by Averett. Crumby with another three-point attempt. Rebounded by Connolly. Connolly to the front court, hands it to Ballstedt. Into McConkey. And now DJ working behind the McConkey screen. DJ hits from 17 feet.
I think he hesitated for a minute there, not quite knowing where that defender went, as he kind of looked as though he tripped or had slipped, fallen on the ground, just kind of wide open for a moment.
Jalen Chambers onto the floor for Averett. Mason Mitchell now on the right wing, guarded by Connolly. Back to Chambers. His three-point attempt is long. Rebounded by Connolly once again. Mahad brings it into the front court. DJ from the right wing, long on that three-point attempt. Averett brings it across midcourt. Sellers. And they are going to get DJ with a blocking foul. That'll be DJ's first. And that will bring us to another timeout. Right now, the Knights lead 21-17. See if we just take a look at some stats here in the early going. Yeah, so far, the Knights off to a little bit of a slow start offensively, but they've rebounded well now. They're 8 of 16 from the floor, 50%. Averett 7 of 16, so they're just one shot under, one successful attempt under 50% at 44%. Averett with 3 3-pointers, Southern Virginia with 2.
Yeah, it's always kind of interesting to just look at these stats and really see thus far what Southern Virginia and what Averett, what they're succeeding at, and maybe kind of where there's always room for improvement thus far. But it's always just interesting to see exactly what they've been doing that's been working, even just in this first little bit.
No, it's, the stats are always fun to get a look at, right? We can look at the score, 21-17. Now we kind of look at the stats and kind of get a broader picture of what's going on. So far, the score is 21-17, but the teams are relatively equal in stats. Rebounds, 9-8, Southern Virginia. The difference there is they have 1 more offensive rebound. And then turnovers right now, 5 turnovers for Averett, 4 for Southern Virginia. And out of the timeout, Sellers buries a 3-pointer off an inbounds play from the right wing.
And Colby, even just as you were talking a little bit about some of those statistics, just looking at like those 3-pointers, as Southern Virginia currently is 2 for 7. That's something that is going to come eventually. Like that takes a minute. You got to get your feet under yourself. You got to kind of figure out how exactly you're going to do this and adjust to the speed and excitement of a game and what you're going to do to adjust versus just shooting in practices.
No, it's been interesting so far. Both teams from the 3-point line, they've made a few. Southern Virginia with 2. Averett, I believe that was their 4th that they made out of that timeout. But we've also seen some pretty wild misses from that beyond that 3-point arc too. So again, just another testament to the teams trying to get those game legs underneath them.
Exactly.
And that pass into the corner was headed for Kofi Williams, who's checked into the game for the Cougars. And they'll turn it over, so Knights, SVU in the front court. DJ Green behind a McConkey screen once again. Connolly into the paint, spins, and he buries a 14-footer from the elbow.
That was a really good and actually really smart move to see from Connolly, able to just adjust and see exactly where that defender was and to just get on that right side. You could even see some of the players and coaches on the Knight bench saying spin, turn, and that was a great move right there.
Mason Mitchell with the 3-pointer for Averett, and that ties the score at 23. Timmy Johnson back onto the floor, drives the hoop, kicks it out. Knights will go around the horn. DJ working against Sellers, or Mitchell rather, and DJ hits from 15 feet.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how these players can be creative when they come to a stop, when they've picked up their dribble. It's really to see, okay, what move are they going to do? How are they going to make space to either get a shot or to get a good pass? And DJ Green was really able to do that, just get higher in the air and take a great shot.
Tamias Bracey into the paint, draws a foul. That goes against Jude Ballstedt. So Bracey at the line to shoot 2. As we mentioned, Bracey with 20 points the other night to lead Averett. So far, he has 4 points in this game as he misses the first free throw attempt. Bracey gets the second one. And Sellers will come back into the game, replacing Scogan. Ramazani back onto the floor. that. Hands off to Johnson. Shot clock under 10. Timmy puts up a long three. And they are going to call a foul on Kofi Williams. So the Knights will get the ball on the baseline.
Looked as though there was a little bit of confusion on both of the teams trying to figure out exactly what that call was, as there's been some really great defense coming from the side of Averett, as they've been putting a lot of really good ball pressure on the Knights, and they've been able to take it in stride.
No, both teams playing hard on defense, a lot of effort being put into this matchup so far. DJ Green drives to the hoop for a layup, and DJ into double figures with 10 points here in this first half. And Bracy left open in the corner, drains a three-pointer. And that ties the score back at 27 apiece. Coach Bevel, not happy with the effort on defense, calls a timeout.
Yeah, this is kind of the moment when you want to stop and really, one, talk to your team and just have them really figure out what they want to do on defense. Kind of remind them, okay, what's our purpose on defense? What are we doing? We want to get in front of the ball. We need to get these stops. We're leaving too many shots open. But also, just take this moment to really stop kind of that momentum that's been going. You want to keep it in your favor.
No, the offense has been going pretty well, but you can't give up on that defense. You know, I think that's what was frustrating to Coach Bevel right there, is that open three-pointer by, you know, the player that was the leading scorer in the last game for Averett.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot of statistics that you can go off of, but if you know that that one player had a really wonderful game, you should know, okay, if they have that confidence, they're going to want to shoot that shot. We know that we need to get in front of them.
Absolutely. I mentioned DJ in double figures, actually with 12 points already here in this first half. Leading scorer for Averett at this point. I believe with that three-pointer, Bracy now has 8 points, possibly. Crumby also with 8 points. So to that point, Bracy kind of had a quiet 4 points. He gets that free throw and then comes right back on the next possession and hits the three-pointer. So I'm sure Coach Bev a little concerned with that. And Timmy takes it to the bucket. The shot goes. And both Timmy and Isaiah Ramazani a little slow getting up there after that collision. Timmy is on his feet, walking under his own power. Ramazani, he is still in the paint, and he'll be checked out by a trainer. We'll go ahead and take this timeout. Ramazani also able to get up and walk off the floor under his own power, so good to see. Both players look to be okay. Of course, Timmy now will step to the line, looking to complete a three-point play. Free throw short, rebounded there by Sellers.
Always kind of hard when you're coming for a free throw to kind of come off of maybe a stiff-legged moment where you're after you've been laying on the ground for a moment, or even after you kind of have a harder hit. not necessarily you're icing yourself, but kind of makes it a little bit harder to really think about, okay, how am I going to go through my motion with this free throw?
Little scramble under the basket. Jude Ballstedt able to come away with it. DJ goes to the hoop. Up and in with a finger roll. DJ Green having a great half. What a great way to start your senior season.
No, exactly. You really want to come out and just show exactly what kind of player you can be. And DJ is definitely doing that tonight. He's doing things all over, really playing some wonderful defense, but also taking really smart and really creative shots also out here tonight.
Gracie up top to Sellers. He'll pull up for three. That's going to be short. Luke DeVore with the rebound. Knights hustle into front court. Timmy on the right wing. Being guarded there by Mitchell. Austin Mitchell gives the screen and rolls. And Averett able to come up with the loose ball.
Austin Mitchell also being one of those players that Coach Bevel has spoken about multiple times this year, being very excited as someone who brings a lot of not only height, but also brings a lot of just agility, able to bring a lot to the game to see exactly what they can do, as they have a lot of knowledge on the court, but just to bring so much to the game.
And you see his size come into play right there as Bracy drove into the paint. And DJ takes it to the hoop, and that will be blocked. It'll be night ball. But first, we'll have the final media timeout of this first half with the Knights leading 31-27. Welcome back here to the barn. It'll be night ball on the baseline. Luke DeVore, he'll inbound. 2 minutes, 27 seconds left in this first half. Timmy behind the Austin Mitchell screen. They'll swing it over to Abe Connolly, and he'll put the three-pointer up. A little long, but good hustle there by Austin Mitchell. Austin gets the rebound, goes to the hoop, and he will be fouled. That's going to be whistled on Mason Mitchell.
That was a really powerful drive. Able to see multiple players, multiple Knight players really getting in on the paint there, trying to just drive in, get the rebound, just make an offensive play there.
Mitchell hits the first of his 2 free throws. Second one around the rim and out.
That's always the worst thing, when you do that and it just kind of barely lifts out. You're just like, ah, so close.
Always frustrating when you miss the second one too after you got the first one. And Jackson Sellers working against Jude Ballstedt, who's going to get whistled for the foul. Actually, they give that to Luke DeVore. That is Luke's first. to whistle a foul on Timmy Johnson. So that's going to be Averett ball on the baseline.
A little bit of confusion on that call. Multiple players kind of just looking around trying to figure out what exactly that foul was, as it was kind of off the ball.
Crumby hands it off to Seiler. Seiler puts up a three. That's rebounded by Mitchell.
Some good defense.
Sellers takes it to the hoop. Good defense there by Luke DeVore, standing his ground.
Yeah, it's always kind of something that's a little scary, intimidating, especially when someone's going in for either a layup or a high dunk. Really just put yourself out there.
Jude Ballstedt, a little short on a three-point attempt. Luke DeVore hustling, looking for an offensive rebound, and he'll pick up his second foul here in a span about 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's always one of the hard things, is you want to be aggressive, of course, and just go for the ball, but also you want to remain in control exactly of what you're doing and try not to really put yourself too much out there in danger of really getting another foul so quickly.
Fortunately for both teams, Luke DeVore, he's the first player to get a second personal foul called. So both teams sitting good as far as fouls are concerned. And now Timmy Johnson's going to be whistled for his second foul.
Timmy kind of looked at the ref and tried to clarify that he was not near the ball at that time.
A little bit of a late whistle as well. And Seiler misses the first of two. .55 seconds left here in this first half. Second free throw by Seiler is good, and Coach Bevel will call a timeout here. Talk it over with his team, figure out what he wants to do in these last 55 seconds. Probably talk over, figure out a way they want to get 2 for 1, I'm sure, in this last minute.
No, exactly. That's one of the fun things about having a shot clock, is you only get guaranteed for sure that one 30-second play. But if you're really creative, like you're saying, Colby, you can get multiple plays going and really just try and get one. You want to get this offensive play, but you also want to immediately get a defensive stop and just try and get something going. You want to be able to also, on the defensive end, if you don't get a stop, prevent Averett from just getting an easy shot in this last 55 seconds. You want to do your very best to just put some good defense and end this first half with a good thing, so that when you can start the second half, you have something good going.
Absolutely. Knights here with a 4-point lead. Coach Bevel now, seeing that he can get a 2 for 1, he wants to increase that lead. He'd love to have a 6-7 point lead going into the half. They inbound to DJ. Crumby closely guards him. Ball's crossed midcourt into Austin Mitchell. And a little give and go between Austin Mitchell and Mason Hunter. Averett comes up with the steal. A great hustle by Austin Mitchell, getting back and getting the block.
Some great defense, able to get back and really block that in the perfect spot, really.
And Averett is going to get whistled for a foul right there. Coach David Duino not happy with that call. Abe Connolly, he will go to the line. And missed the front end of the 1-and-1, so now Averett with 17 seconds left.
This is when you want to put on that lockdown defense. You don't want Averett to get that last shot.
And Mason Mitchell at the buzzer will hit a 17-footer, and that will close the halftime gap to 32-30. SVU, they'll head into the locker room with a 2-point lead.
Yeah, that's always something that's a little rough. You don't necessarily want that immediate shot happening in that last minute, but there's only so much that you can do, really. But I mean, you still have a lead, and that's something that you're maybe going to talk about even in the locker room. Be like, hey, let's put some more defense on the ball. Let's put some more pressure on the ball. We've been playing good defense. Let's keep that up the second half.
Absolutely. Probably the last minute there, Coach Bevel's not going to be happy with the way the last minute was played. But at the end, looking here, the way the first half went, the Knights were a little slow coming out of the gate. Then they played pretty well through the middle part. And then maybe the last 3-4 minutes, probably not to the standard that Coach Bevel would have liked.
No, you want to be able to start off good. I mean, yeah, you always have those minutes where you kind of got to figure out what's going on. But you want to be able to get that good momentum going and then keep it going.
So we will go ahead and take halftime, and we'll join you back here for the second half where the Knights lead 32-30 over the Averett Cougars. Welcome back here to Knight Arena as we are just getting ready to start the second half. Southern Virginia, they lead the Averett Cougars by a score of 32-30. I'm Colby Kemp once again here with CC Bands. CC, like we said going into the break, you know, that first half was a little up and down for the Knights.
Yeah, we could kind of tell right at the beginning they were just a little shaky, just getting used to exactly how they wanted to play. But then once they kind of got into a rhythm, it was really great to see what they were able to do. And it'll be exciting to see if they are able to bring that back in this second half and continue playing like that.
It'll be interesting to see what adjustments Coach Bevel and Coach Dowino made at halftime. You know, just looking here, you know, field goal shooting pretty good. Southern Virginia right at 50%. Averett 42%. They're actually, Averett is shooting 46% from the three-point line, 6 of 13. So that's really kept them close.
Yeah, that's a percentage that when you have your three-point percentage, when it's above 30, 35%, that's actually really good for a team.
Absolutely. Blair Crumby comes out of the break, knocks down an 18-footer. And they're going to get Abe Connolly for a travel. So right out of the break, Averett hits a jumper and forces a turnover. Score is tied at 32. Mitchell down to Sellers. Crumby into the paint, takes a jumper. Little long rebounded by Connolly.
Kind of able to sneak his way through. Multiple Knights players kind of just find a nice little spot and able to take that shot.
Jude Ballstedt to the hoop. Dishes to McConkey. Ball rolls around and comes off the rim. Tough break there for the Knights. McConkey was right there at point blank range. Looked like it was going down.
That's always one of the worst things when you're like that close and it just barely tips out and you just can't do so much at that moment.
And Mason Mitchell hits the 7th three-pointer of the game for Averett.
Yeah, being able to just come in and immediately just start knocking those down.
And little miscommunication there between DJ and Timmy. Another turnover for the Knights. So unfortunately, first three possessions for the Knights in this second half. 2 turnovers and a missed layup.
Yeah, this is something you don't necessarily want that to start off, but if we even just kind of look back and reflect on that first half, the Knights didn't have the greatest start either. So I wouldn't be too stressed knowing that the Knights are able to bring themselves and kind of build themselves back up.
You're exactly right. Kind of a similar start to this second half as what there was to the first half. Knights will look to steady the ship here as the Cougars inbound the ball. Bracey out at the logo. Mitchell. And Mitchell with his second three-pointer in the first 2 minutes of the second half. Cougars with a little full court pressure. Knights break the press. And Hiram McConkey, a little jump hook from 4 feet.
Able to kind of bring the Knights a little bit out of that. And just looking back a second ago at Mason Mitchell, his shooting tonight, he's currently 3 for 4 on three-pointers at 75%, which is a significant amount. But if you're looking at this from the Southern Virginia side, you really just want to be like, okay, we know that he's shooting well. What are we going to do for that?
And a little bit of a delayed call there, but they're going to get an offensive foul called on Averett. That will go against Zach Scogan. That'll be his first. DJ gets his shot blocked. Good defense there by Mason Mitchell. So Mason Mitchell having a great start to this second half for the Cougars.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want when you come back into a game. You really want immediately to just pick up where you left off, get off shooting, get off some good steals and good stops.
Mason Mitchell gets loose again. His third three-pointer here in this second half, and he's going to be whistled for a foul. Reaching in as Jude Ballstedt is bringing that ball across midcourt.
Yeah, Jude Ballstedt being actually really smart as how he was playing the ball, bringing that ball down the court, able to really use his body well, but also draw that foul.
Timmy behind the McConkey screen, and Abe Connolly puts up a three-pointer, and that's long. So Averett, they've come out and started this second half on an 11-2 run to jump out to a 7-point lead.
Yeah, that's something that, as from the viewpoint of Southern Virginia, that's not what you want. You want to be able to come out into this, keep it either back and forth with each other, you can keep it nice and balanced, or even you be the ones taking that lead. Now's kind of the time where you want to really look and reflect and see, okay, what are we going to do to get ourselves out of this hole, but what are we going to do to get that lead?
And so often the tendency is to play with more of an urgency, and right now the Knights just kind of need to settle in, work their offense, get the shots, and communicate on defense.
Yeah, you just want to be smart and be in control of the ball.
McConkey gets his shot blocked from behind by Jackson Sellers. Sellers goes the length of the court, and McConkey comes down with the rebound, and he'll push the ball up the floor, take it to the hoop, and score it. Hiram McConkey goes coast to coast.
That was awesome to see him just really get control of the ball and just have the confidence and just take that all the way.
Bracy being guarded near midcourt by DJ Green. And he'll dish to Scogan, and Scogan goes up for the dunk.
It's a really nice opportunity right there, able to just see that nice little opening and take that dunk right there.
And there's DJ Green knocking down another three-pointer from the corner. And that's what the Knights need right there, is that senior leadership. DJ Green set up, got the pass, and he's money when his feet are set.
Oh, exactly. And that's a wonderful thing right there to just have happen. Bring that energy and that confidence back to the Knights and really just answer to what has been happening from Averett.
Good defense there. Mason Hunter steps in the way of a pass, picks up the steal. And DJ mishandles the pass. It goes out of bounds. And that will bring us to the first timeout of this second half, with Averett now out to a 4-point lead at 43-39 over the Knights.
Yeah, having that big of a lead is definitely not something that you want, but as it was previously, that 11-2 run that the Knights they're chipping away, they're building themselves back up. That's exactly what you want to see. You want to be able to see that they're coming out. It's just taking a second.
No, they came out, that first half, it was Blair Crombie that comes in the game, knocks down a couple shots, and now Mason Mitchell, 3 3-pointers here in this second half. And, the Knights, Coach Bevel, a little frustrated at the defensive effort, but they really need to communicate and not lose track, right now of Mason Mitchell.
Yeah, even just a few minutes ago, I even said his statistics, but now he's 5 for 6 on those three-pointers with an 83% for three-point shooting, which is phenomenal, actually, if you think about it. But definitely from Southern Virginia's side, you really want to be able to say, okay, how are we going to lock him down? What are we going to do to really contain him and what he's been doing?
And the degree of difficulty on that last one was getting up there. He was fading to his right, coming off a screen. So he's feeling it right now. The Knights, they're going to need to keep track of him and not let him have the space to get that shot up in the air.
Exactly. And Southern Virginia, they are capable of playing very strong defense. We've seen that thus far tonight, and we can just hope that they bring that back and continue doing what they've been doing.
Kamias Bracy to Sellers. Sellers breaks down Luke DeVore, takes to the hoop. Good defense by Austin Mitchell, who's checked into the game. Mitchell did a good job there of holding his ground, staying straight up. Now Mason Mitchell, a little give and go with Scogan. And Mitchell scores the layup. And now in the backcourt, Crumby is going to pick up a foul as he was reaching and got DJ Green across the face. That'll be Crumby's second. So Jude Ballstedt, he will go into the game replacing DJ. So DJ may have lost a contact or have to look for it. And Jude Ballstedt to the hoop, gets the bucket and the foul.
Yeah, the and one, that's something that Southern Virginia really needs, is these little moments that keep happening are definitely what's going to help them build themselves up and really get that confidence going. And that was a great drive and really a wonderful take, especially knowing really just an intelligent play coming from Ballstedt, knowing that his defender was on that backside and that if he wants to stop him, he's going to have to foul him.
Jude knocks down the free throw, so a three-point play. And that's the spark they needed. You know, DJ just knocked the three down from the corner, goes down, gets wiped across the face, and Jude replaces him. You know, so Jude comes in and provides that spark.
Exactly. You want to be able, you want to have those players that even when you have a substitution, they're still going to keep that energy going.
And that's going to be a foul on Luke DeVore, contesting the shot of Jackson Sellers. Sellers is going to get two, and that will be Luke's third foul. Sellers at the line. First one's a little long. And good to see DJ able to return. He'll replace DeVore since DeVore picked up his third foul. Sellers toes the line for the second. And that's around and out, rebounded by Timmy Johnson. Ballstedt being guarded by Seiler. DJ to Mason and give and go.
That was
Great
a
play
perfect
there.
That was a perfect read, seeing that face cut, really just being able to see where that open line was, and a great pass.
Good look by Hunter finding DJ. Sellers drives to the hoop, goes up and over Mason Hunter, score the bucket, and Sellers will go to the line to shoot one.
And that was a really good drive actually coming in from Sellers, but there's also only so much you can do as a defender. Mason Hunter being in that spot, he had his hands up, but there's only so much you can do as a good offensive player. They're going to know how to even go into the defender and use their body to draw that foul.
Right now, CC Mason Mitchell and DJ Green, a little battle going on between the two for top scorer, both with 19 right now. DJ with the ball on the left wing. He'll bring it to the logo, guarded by Crumby. Back to DJ on the right wing now. Out to Mason Hunter. A good pass. Jude Ballstedt finds DJ in the paint. His shot's a little long, but the rebound will be knocked out of bounds, and it will stay here with the Knights.
Yeah, this is definitely a nice opportunity where you're on this inbounds play, really just trying to get a nice easy shot.
And on the inbound play, Austin Mitchell goes to the ground, and the referees say he simply fell out of bounds, so it will be Averett basketball.
Some of the Knights players kind of looked a little confused by that one, as exactly why would he fall? But sometimes it's always kind of just hard to tell exactly as basketball's a very physical sport, you're going to run into people.
Mitchell now being guarded by Mason Hunter. He hands off to Sellers. And Sellers takes it to the hoop, and he is fouled by Jude Ballstedt. So Sellers will go to the line to shoot 2. So Cece, after a fairly clean first half, now here, not even 8 minutes into the second half, we've seen quite a few more fouls being called.
No, yeah, we've definitely seen a lot more physicality definitely has been happening in this second half. And I mean, that just shows the aggressiveness and really the competitiveness of both of these teams and all of these players, that they are going to obviously do their very best to prevent their opponent from scoring, to prevent them from really getting easy shots. And they're really trying their very best to just, one, prevent them from scoring, but sometimes that you kind of put yourself out there.
Sellers knocks down both free throws to take Averett out to a 5-point lead at 49-44. Ballstedt with the lob up and over, off the hand of Mitchell and out of bounds. And that will bring us to the under 12 timeout. 11:59 remains in the game. Averett leads 49-44. Welcome back to the barn. Averett brings the ball up out of that timeout. Blair Crumby. Jackson Sellers, guarded by Jude. Sellers into the paint, loses the ball, and referee says that was off the baseline, so Knight ball.
Some good defense by the Knights, able to really kind of just force that baseline drive, try and just keep the ball away from the basket, and just really some good ball pressure.
DJ Green into the front court. Mitchell hands to Timmy. Tyler Stevens into the game for Averett. Timmy goes to the hoop, and he is fouled. Foul will go against Jackson Sellers. Timmy shoots 2.
It's a great drive, seeing that nice little opening, a nice opportunity. Also just being wise, seeing where that defender is and trying to kind of just maneuver the ball away from him and really draw that foul.
Timmy hits the first. Johnson able to knock them both down. Johnson now with 6 points on the night. Also has 4 steals and 4 assists and 4 rebounds.
That's something that you love to see, a player that's well-rounded, able to get around and really just do multiple things on the court.
3-pointer by Stevens is long. DJ into the paint with the dish. Austin Mitchell with the bucket. Good look there by DJ.
Kind of able to sacrifice himself, put that ball, see where he needed to really put it, see that nice selfless offensive play.
Jude Ballstedt with the tough defense, knocks it out of bounds. So Averett, they will have the ball in front of their bench with 16 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Bracy behind the Stevens screen. He gets Crumby in the corner. And Stevens went up high for the rebound. Timeout on the floor as the shot clock went off and the referee stopped play, but the ball did hit the rim, so they'll get the reset.
One of the nice things about having that shot clock is as soon as it hits the rim, you get kind of that reset, like you said, Colby. But also, for the side of Southern Virginia, you want to get those stops, you want to get those defensive rebounds, so you can immediately turn it around. That's something that we can even hear Coach Bevel is just saying, get the ball, get those rebounds, because that's going to bring a lot.
No, they need to secure those rebounds, and on the inbounds play, Averett gets the bucket. It was Sellers going up and under. DJ to the hoop, and they're going to whistle a foul, and DJ will go to the line shooting two. Foul is called. Tobias Bracy. DJ knocks down the first. That's Bracy's first foul of the evening. DJ knocks down both free throws. Knights with a little full court press now. Mitchell to Sellers, and they get it over mid-court. Bracy on the left wing, guarded by Hunter.
It's always good to see that when you have those defensive presses going, that you're able to transition into your defense nicely. Sometimes that's always a little bit of a worry that when you're in that press, that you kind of have numbers going on the opposite side. So it's always hard to do that.
Tobias Bracy beats the shot clock from about 28 feet away. Drains the three-pointer. And Coach Bevel is not happy at the moment, telling the referees that he did not get that shot off in time. So that's going to put Averett out to a 4-point lead. Well, that was tough to tell. He was right in line from our angle. He was right in line, the rim, the shot clock, and it looked close.
Yeah, that's always something that it's hard to tell and hard to see exactly, but also when you're the coach and that's your team playing defense, you got to be like, hey, guys, we need to stop this. We can't let them get these shots off, especially give them that look in that last second. We got to keep the defense up the entire time.
And he was pretty well defended. You know, it was kind of a fall away, almost 30-footer. And again, that's Tobias Bracy, who, you know, he was the leading scorer in the first game with 20 points. And to that point, the Knights had held him to 5 points on the evening. That 3 gives him 8. And so you always worry as a coach, is that going to be something that gets him going?
No, exactly. You don't want any opportunities for them to have that kind of turn on that moment, get the fire started. You always want to be able to keep them down and kind of just hold it that way.
Ball inbounded to Ballstedt. Timmy brings it across midcourt. Hands it to DJ. DJ with a 15-footer that's short, rebounded there by Mason Mitchell. And the Cougars bring the ball up the floor. Sellers, straight away, hands to Bracy. And Crumby knocks down a 15-foot jumper from the baseline. And that puts Averett up by 6.
Yeah, now is kind of, as a team, 6 points, it's not too much. That's 2 plays, that's not too much that can happen. But also you don't want that to provide and open the door for Averett to really just take that energy and that momentum and go. You want to be able to put a stop to that and really just play some good defense.
And right there, out of that possession, another turnover for the Knights. So Averett once again with possession. Sellers, guarded by DJ. Hands to Bracy. Down to Sellers. He finds Crumby in the corner, steps back, and Crumby knocks down a 17-footer over Hiram McConkey. A tough shot right there.
Yeah, even kind of just a bit of a fadeaway even. We've seen that multiple times. He's really able to get these shots nice and high, which makes it a little bit difficult to defend.
So Averett is now out to their largest lead of the evening, 58-50. And that brings us to the under 8 media timeout. 7.5 minutes remaining. We'll be back. Welcome back here to Knight Arena as we come out of this timeout. It'll be Knight ball. Timmy to inbound. Into McConkey, who hands back to Timmy. And now Yusuf checking the game just before the last break. DJ puts up a shot to beat the shot clock. And that's rebounded by Averett.
Yeah, we were kind of even just saying during that media timeout that now is the time for Southern Virginia not only to get a stop, but to get something going on that offensive end. To really try and get those opportunities, because this is the time when that momentum can start to shift.
Crumby with the fadeaway. And they're going to get Tyler Stevens with a foul down low on the rebound. And that will be the 7th team foul on Averett. So the Knights are going to be shooting free throws from here on out.
And that's actually, 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Might not seem like a whole lot, but that is quite a bit of time in a basketball game, and every time that there is a foul called on for Southern Virginia, it's going to immediately send them to the line, which provides a lot of opportunities for these shots.
Ballstedt a little short. Rebound off to Mason Mitchell. Like I said, it's not a lot of time, but that's 6 more minutes than they had the bonus in the first half, right? 6 more minutes of potential free throws. Of course, you got to capitalize on those if you're going to get them.
Yeah, you got to know how to use it. Because if you don't, if you just don't even play as if you can draw those fouls, then that's wasted opportunities.
Gracie's three-point attempt is long. Rebounded by Hiram McConkey. He hands to Jude. Back to McConkey. And they're going to get McConkey on a charge as he was looking to get into the paint. That'll be Hiram's second here this evening.
Definitely a little bit of a shift in that energy, but it's always encouraging to see when that happens with a player that they just immediately stand up, they turn around, they clap their hands, say, let's get it back. Let's get that ball back.
Bracy, guarded by Yusuf. To Mitchell. Back to Mitchell. He's got a mismatch. And Mitchell will turn and shoot. Rebounded by Stogan. Once again, an issue with the shot clock. Not resetting. Gracie inbounds to Sellers, and he's immediately fouled by Ballstedt. That will be Jude's fourth. And Ballstedt, after picking up his fourth, he will be replaced on the floor by Matthew Hell. Matthew is a junior out of Park City, Utah.
And Southern Virginia kind of had a little bit of an opportunity there, as a few minutes ago they only had 14 fouls, but as they've had multiple off-ball fouls, now they are also going to be putting Averett into bonus.
And Mason Mitchell, probably not the guy you want to put on the line.
No, definitely not. His shooting tonight has been really well, so he's somebody that you want to definitely be keeping away from those free shots.
First one is up and in. Mitchell knocks both free throws down, and that gives Averett a 10-point lead with 5 minutes, 25 seconds remaining. Now, Cece, it'll be interesting to see Matthew Hell in the game. In the intra-squad scrimmage they played a couple weeks ago, Matthew Hell was on fire. He must have hit at least 10 three-pointers throughout the play that evening.
It'll be interesting to see what he brings to this game tonight and what he'll do in these last 5 minutes.
DJ Green hits three from the corner.
That is a play right there that Southern Virginia really needs, and hopefully they can build off of that as well.
And Yusuf is going to be whistled for a foul. That will send Tomias Gracie to the line.
Yeah, a couple minutes ago we were talking about how it was 6 minutes when Southern Virginia was able to be shooting bonus free throws. Now that both teams are in bonus and there's 4 minutes and 49 seconds, that means these next 4 minutes are going to be some very long minutes anytime a foul is called.
Absolutely, that will lengthen the game some. DJ Green now, 24 points on the evening, 3 of 4 from three-point range. Bracy knocks down both free throws. Averett maintains a 9-point lead at the moment. McConkey Murphy into the paint. Ball's knocked out and stolen away by Averett.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot tonight. Kind of some unfortunate little unforced errors as well as turnovers. You want to be able to, one, retain possession of the ball, but you also just want to be smart and patient with how you're, really just how you're moving the ball around.
And Bracey goes to the hoop, scores the layup and is fouled. Looks like the foul is going to go on Timmy Johnson. Bracey at the line looking to complete the three-point play. Free throw is good, so Averett now has a 12-point lead as we approach 4 minutes remaining. Yusuf to the hoop, a little long. That is Ashton Davis, number 44, that's checked in for Southern Virginia. Ashton is a freshman out of Apex, North Carolina. And that ball goes out of bounds. That'll be Averett ball when we come back from the last media timeout of this game. Averett leads 65-53. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Knight Arena. There are 3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the season opener here as the Knights play the Averett Cougars. Blair Crumby at the line hits the first of 2 free throws. Second one comes out, and Timmy's able to come up with the rebound.
That's a good rebound right there to get, really just to take possession of the ball and get the ball turned around immediately.
DJ Green, his 4th three-pointer on the evening. And that's really kind of been his spot this evening, that right corner. That cuts the lead to 10 at 66-56.
That's something that we always kind of love to see, something that kind of reignites that energy and desire within the Knights.
And there's a three-pointer by Tomias Brady. He answers the 3 by DJ. And Coach Duino calls a timeout after he sees that ball go through the hoop.
Yeah,
puts
immediately.
his team back out to a 13-point lead.
Yeah, immediately reacting and just choosing, okay, probably going to make a plan for this next 3 minutes. But if I was on the side of Southern Virginia, now is the time to really just push.
Yeah, they're going to have to work for open shots. They're going to, they need to not pass up open shots at the moment. They got to work fast because right now possessions are limited. 3 minutes remaining, 3:03 on the clock, and so they're going to need to make the most out of any possession that they get. So they're going to need to try and steal a couple possessions as well.
Yeah, they're going to need to really lock down on defense and get some stops on that defensive side. But also, like you're saying, Colby, they've passed up a lot of really open really open shots that they could be taking. And DJ Green has been doing a wonderful job taking those shots, especially in that corner on those three-pointers. But when they have those opportunities, to not hesitate and just shoot it.
Now under 3 minutes, Yusuf brings the ball across midcourt. The lob to Davis, and that's blocked from behind by Tyler Stevens. And we'll see this the remainder of the game as Averett will be patient on offense. Bracy with the long three comes off. DJ races up the floor. And he's looking for Matthew Hill in the corner. He'd vacated, and that ball goes out of bounds. And it will go back to Averett.
Unfortunately, Matthew Hill wasn't in that spot. I mean, that would have been the perfect three-point area, as that is a spot that we've seen multiple nights are very skilled at in that corner three-point shot.
They'll get Mahad Yusuf on a reach-in, so that's going to send Bracy to the free throw line. Bracy hits the first. It was not too long ago, CC, that we talked about Bracy picking up his 8th point on the evening. And with that free throw right there, he's now at 18 on the evening.
Yeah, he kind of had those moments and then just ran with it.
Timmy to the bucket. DJ from the corner. Comes off a little short. Timmy with the steal. And Averett steals it right back. So Bracy will walk the ball across midcourt. But DJ comes up with the steal. 2-on-1. He leaves it for Timmy. And Timmy with the reverse layup.
A great run right there, as we've seen some really good defensive plays. They just haven't been able to just keep it going.
Bracy goes to the hoop, puts it up, count it. Fouled on the play. Foul will go to DJ, and Bracy now will go to the line, looking to complete the three-point play. And Bracy knocks the free throw down. Averett 74, SVU 58. Timmy with three-pointer, that's short. And that will go off Davis and out of bounds. And Averett will again have the ball. Mason Mitchell brings it across midcourt. We're now under a minute remaining. Sellers into the paint. Sellers with a great move. Puts it off the glass and it goes down.
Knights looking to just get something going in these last 30 seconds.
Yusuf short on a 15-foot jumper. And Averett will walk the ball up. The shot clock is off. So Averett is going to come into the barn and knock off the Knights here in the home opener for SVU. Gracie standing at the logo, just dribbling the final seconds off that clock. And there's the horn. Averett will take this game by a score of 76-58.
Yeah, the score might not show it, but this was a good game between both of these teams. Really just the opportunity for both of them to really see, kind of get their feet under themselves and see exactly what they're capable of and what they would like to do and what they look forward to doing, especially as the season goes forward.
No, it was a close game up until about 5 minutes left in the game, and that's when Averett just kind of, took over the game and finished. Of course, we talked about Tomias Gracie, the way he finished this game. He finished with 21 points on the evening. He shoots 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from three-point range, 7 and 8 from the three-point line. Of course, Mason Mitchell, he finishes also with 21 points, going 5 of 6 from the three-point line. And, very balanced off, rebound-wise. They had Scogan, Sellers, and Mitchell, all with 6 rebounds.
Oh yeah, and Southern Virginia did a really good job holding off a lot of these players, but unfortunately they were unable to really contain them for that entire span of that game tonight.
Looking at the stats for Southern Virginia, you had Abe Connolly and Timmy Johnson leading the way with 6 rebounds each. On the offensive side, it was DJ Green is the story there. 27 points on the evening. As the season goes on, the Knights are going to have to find those players that can step up and help carry that load offensively.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need more than just one person, as they really need, just like you said, more people to bring that energy to just help them fight in these games.
You had DJ with 27, Hiram McConkey with 7 was the next leading scorer, and Timmy Johnson with 6 points. So, you're going to need to see some other weapons on the floor, because eventually teams will start keying on DJ Green, and he's not going to get those shots. So, that's something that, the Knights will have to work on, and I'm sure that's something that Coach Bevel will be stressing as they work the next few days in preparation. So the Knights next, they will be down the road a bit in Salem with games both Friday and Saturday. They'll take on Roanoke Friday night at 6 p.m. and they'll take on Guilford Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. So 2 more games this week for the Knights to kind of find some rhythm as they start the process now to prepare for the conference season.
No, exactly. So much time and so much to do, but really now's the time to do it.
No, absolutely. So thank you again for joining us here this evening. I'm Colby Kemp. This is CC Bands. Want to remind everybody tomorrow night at 7 p.m. women's volleyball semifinals in the USA South Conference Tournament. Southern Virginia will take on Salem right here in this gym tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So join us tomorrow. Thanks once again, everybody, for joining us. Have a good evening, and as always, go Knights.